Red Dead Redemption 2 isn't just one of the most critically acclaimed games of all time, it's also one of the best selling, with millions of players still roaming its world years after release. But with Rockstar dominating the headlines almost every week thanks to new GTA 6 leaks and rumors, the conversation is starting to shift towards the studio's future, and recently that speculation went into overdrive after Take-Two's CEO Strauss Zelnick dropped a very interesting hint in a new interview, confirming that Rockstar is indeed working on multiple projects beyond GTA 6. Could it be that Red Dead Redemption 3 is already in the works? Over the last few years, there have been a handful of subtle but intriguing clues pointing towards Rockstar's next big open world adventure, and today we're going to try to piece it all together. So right out of the gate, there was a very strange piece of news that came out about Red Dead 3 the other day, and it came from a very unlikely source. According to a translated article from KR Investing, an analyst for Wells Fargo, they recently made a prediction that Rockstar and Take-Two are planning on releasing Red Dead Redemption 3 in 2028, which sounds like a meme because I don't even know if we're going to get GTA 6 before then, but needless to say, their logic is kind of interesting. According to the article, Take-Two Interactive is believed to have an overweight rating in the eyes of major banks like Wells Fargo and a price target of $265. This led the Wells Fargo analyst to predict that Take-Two Interactive is going to try and capitalize on the market by releasing Red Dead Redemption 3 in 2028, just 2 years after GTA 6, which again, this sounds crazy. I personally don't trust this analyst. I think this is absolutely bonkers to even think about, especially if you look at the development time of GTA 6 and Red Dead Redemption 2 for that matter. These games don't get made that quick. Like, there's just no chance. The only way that I see this possible is if there was like an A team that was working on GTA 6 and then a B team that's already been developing Red Dead Redemption 3. That is the only possibility of this even being real, which again, I don't think it is. So just take that with a grain of salt, obviously. Yeah, I have no idea what kind of substance this analyst from KR Investing is on, but to say that it's going to release in 2 years after GTA 6 is absolutely wild. At this point, GTA 6 doesn't even have a concrete release date. I mean, it does, but let's be real, it's probably going to get pushed back to September, but there has to be something that was like lost in translation. Perhaps they mean that like Red Dead Redemption 3 is going to be starting the development cycle in 2028. Perhaps that's when they're going to be in pre-production or maybe even full development at that point. Now we have some news to talk about in just a minute from Strauss Zelnick, who actually confirmed that Red Dead Redemption 3 could be in development, but more on that in just a minute. But regardless, with GTA 6 dropping early next year, assuming it doesn't get delayed again, and Rockstar obviously taking their sweet time with game development, I really don't expect them to release another major game for at least another 4 to 5 years after GTA 6. Rockstar and Take-Two Interactive have openly talked about the fact that they take as much time as they want on their games because they know people have an extremely high expectations for them and they don't want to fall short. Plus, if you're an investor or shareholder in Take-Two, you probably don't care how much time Rockstar takes to develop their games because you know you're going to make your money back no matter how long it takes for the product to come out. So even though Wells Fargo seems to think Take-Two will want to capitalize on their position in the market, that just doesn't make sense given the company's history. For other video game publishers and developers, I could see the logic here, but Take-Two and Rockstar are in a unique position in the AAA gaming world where they don't actually have to follow industry standards or industry trends, or even capitalize on specific bumps in the market. They're going to release whatever they want, whenever they want, and the market will adapt to them. If this were Ubisoft or EA with the quote-unquote overweight analysis from major financial institutions, then I could see the desire to get the mainline installment out by 2028, but in Rockstar and Take-Two's case, I just don't think that they care about this stuff anymore. Like, let's be real. They're not going to rush Red Dead Redemption 3 through development to capitalize on the market because, again, the market will always adapt to them, not the other way around. There's also the assumption that the next game that they're working on is Red Dead 3, which it very well might not be. There's been rumors that they're working on a medieval game, that is actively in pre-production, which that is very possible. And I honestly could see them doing a new IP after GTA 6 to kind of give the studio a time to refresh and then work on Red Dead 3, to which they'll eventually work on, GTA 7 once we're all past 40. Now, none of this is to say that Red Dead Redemption 3 isn't happening, because I have no doubt in my mind that Rockstar has every intention of making a third Red Dead Redemption game. In fact, I would say it's all but certain that the game is already in development to some capacity. I mean, if you guys remember, we had that employee resume leak where Red Dead Redemption 3 was explicitly mentioned, but then again, we also have the simple fact that both Rockstar and Take-Two have said that they're going to keep making entries to fan favorite Rockstar franchises for as long as there's interest. And I think we all agree that there definitely is interest in Red Dead 3. Red Dead Redemption 2 is one of the best-selling games of all time, and it still has tons of people logging on just to wander the map and do some cowboy roleplay. RDR3 is absolutely going to happen at some point in the near future, but I am almost certain that it's not going to be dropping in 2028. Like, I'm pretty guaranteed that that's not going to happen. Despite what this so-called analyst said, it's just way too soon after GTA 6. It's not happening. Now, in a recent appearance on CNBC, Take-Two Interactive CEO Strauss Zelnick reaffirmed that Grand Theft Auto 6 remains Rockstar's top priority, and the studio is far from a one-project studio. He said this, and I quote, "Rockstar does have a lot of other things going on, and that's beyond GTA 6, hinting at a packed slate of unannounced titles in various stages of development." Now, while Strauss Zelnick stopped short of like naming the specific projects, like obviously he's not going to do that for in-development projects that might not even see the light of day, but his comments have naturally reignited the speculation amongst fans and myself about what other things could be. Are those other things Red Dead Redemption 3, perhaps Bully 2, or even the brand new IP that's been rumored, like the medieval project that they're apparently in development with? Now, this isn't the first time that Rockstar's leadership has alluded to a busy internal roadmap, but hearing it directly from the CEO on a major network like CNBC does add some weight to the idea that there is multiple projects that are currently moving forward quietly behind the scenes. It also lines up with the past leaks and resume slip-ups and investor statements suggesting that Rockstar likes to keep several irons in the fire at once, allowing them to transition resources smoothly once a major game like GTA 6 wraps up. Now, it's also worth mentioning that it's not really, super helpful to do release window predictions on Rockstar Games because they operate by their own rules and they take as long as they want on their projects. That being said, though, I do think we will see some kind of teaser for Red Dead 3 by the end of the decade, although I'm not expecting a release for another like 5+ years after GTA 6 launches, which would put this game at 2031 at the absolute earliest. Assuming that GTA 6 isn't delayed out of 2026 like some people are suggesting it might be. There was a 5-year gap between GTA 5 and Red Dead 2, and development cycles have only gotten longer since then. So I think a 5-year gap between GTA 6 and Red Dead 3 is the absolute smallest it's going to be. Now, there have been some speculation about what kind of story Red Dead Redemption 3 could tell and where it would take place in the timeline. Red Dead 2 was a prequel to Red Dead 1, and they both roughly took place in the same region of the Wild West, but what about Red Dead 3? Now, personally, I don't know if Rockstar really has many more stories to tell in this region with this cast of characters, but there is a world of possibility if they can just move the map to a new area and focus on a whole new set of characters. Think of all of the great Western movies that have been made set in tons of different regions in the Wild West with all of the great characters from each different town. There's literally an infinite number of great stories that could be told in the Wild West. And even though the first 2 Red Dead games were connected to each other narratively speaking, I don't think that that means that Red Dead 3 has to be as well. I think it's very possible and likely that Red Dead follows in the GTA footsteps, where each game going forward is a standalone story that's technically set in the same continuity as the rest of the franchise, but the stories don't require any knowledge of previous games in order to follow or enjoy. So don't be surprised if Red Dead 3 is announced and it features a new cast of characters, as well as being set in an entirely different region of the US. Still in the Wild West, because let's be real, it's not a Red Dead game if it's not in the West. Honestly, there are so many directions where the next game's story could take us. We could have like a Dutch Vanderland prequel where you actually play as Dutch leading up to the, botched job at Blackwater. Another possibility is we continue the story as Jack Marston and we kind of pick up where Red Dead 1 left off. There's also the possibility of an Arthur Morgan prequel story. I've seen some people who want a Sadie Adler story, which would be pretty interesting. I can think of so many different directions where they could take Red Dead Redemption 3, and honestly, I just want to hear your guys' thoughts down in the comments section. What kind of story do you guys want to see for Red Dead 3? Let me know down below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel with your noties on, and until next time, this has been Wes, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.